Would I do it again? No. I would buy a new Ferrari. Oh, hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I thought it might be interesting to bring you all along on what it costs to own and maintain a 25-year-old Ferrari 360 Modena. Obviously, we dealt with a lot of repairs in the past. That was about 18 months ago. The car has been fairly reliable since then, and I couldn't be over the moon more excited about that. However, there are some things that you just need to maintain on these cars, and I want to go over what that costs. I have a folder here where I keep all of my service records. Now, sadly, as most of you know, when I got the car, I didn't get any service records from the previous owner. I had no idea about the history. The car was broken, but I vowed to make this the best roadworthy Ferrari 360 that there could be. So the car has been up and running for about 18 months. And I put about $50,000 into replacing the engine, the gearbox, all that stuff that you guys already know about. And if you don't know about it, go check out a last couple videos or so ago. These are all the service records that I have since I've owned it. Let's see, this much is what I've had to actually maintain on it since it's fixed. So not bad, but I'll let you guys be the judge. We'll start off with the most inexpensive repair that I've had on this car, or any car I've ever owned in my life. It was a brake switch, $35. Though it was the most inexpensive fix, it was also one of the most inconvenient breakdowns, because when the brake switch goes out in this car, you can't put it into gear. It just stays in neutral. On an Easter drive with the Ferrari Owners Club, I was following behind someone, and all of a sudden my car goes into neutral, and I'm like, oh my God, here we go again. Thankfully, my buddy Dino and his wife Beth were able to kind of help me and stay with me and figure out what the heck was going on with my car. Beth was looking up on her phone on, when a car just goes into neutral, what could it be? Or we determined that it was the brake switch, and if you were to kind of mash on the brake pedal a little bit, it would force you to go into a gear, which I was able to drive home that way. And then I went to Fur Parts, I picked up the brake switch. My buddy Mike came over and helped me fix it. It was great, everything worked fine. Then it was time for its annual service. And so I was a little worried how much this is gonna cost, but at this point, it's just another drop in the bucket, right? I am so thankful that they didn't find anything else wrong with the car when I brought it in. So for an oil filter, $56, then 10 quarts of synthetic oil, which is $100, and a couple of washers at like $2, solvent, and the cabin air filter needed to be replaced. That was an expensive air filter. Normally on any other car that's like 20 bucks, this is 105. Grand total for my normal annual oil change, $992.27. I thought I was in the clear. That's all I have to do for the car for the entire year. Sadly, 2 months later, I started experiencing some weird symptoms when driving. It was only when I was coming to a very complete stop, like at a stoplight or a sign, and I would feel the tapping on my foot. The F1 light would come on only when I'm accelerating slightly up my driveway, and that was it. I didn't think the two symptoms were correlated, but they were. Shout out if you already know what that problem was. It was a rear wheel bearing that needed to be replaced. And sadly, they just don't sell the bearing. You have to buy the whole assembly for $1,100. Beyond that, I wanted to get some other things taken care of with the car. So the speaker started going out. And in fact, here is the original Ferrari speaker. Now, if you see here, all of the rubber had completely corroded away. I anticipate that this is kind of what happens on old cars, and you just have to get it done every now and then. Because of that, all that stuff that fell out of the speaker went into my door. Anytime I'd go over bumps or anything, you would hear that there was something rattling around in the door, and it was just driving me nuts. I did have all the speakers replaced. I used some focals, some really slim ones that fit really perfectly in the doors. But then I also paid to have them clean and vacuum out the door card because of all that stuff that was in there. When I had my muffler reattached from the last major set of repairs, I think they either broke a couple clamps or squished them or did something, but I had one of my tailpipes sagging substantially, and I thought that it was a muffler weld, and I thought I needed a new muffler, which I was kind of excited about because I was going to put on a tubey. They just needed to readjust the muffler. So that was about $660 to take that out and put it back on. Another $75 for a new muffler bracket, $220 to remove the door card and vacuum out all the speaker stuff. That was a grand total of $3,342 for the 18 plus months that I've been driving it. Under $5,000 of maintenance. That's what I've heard is about normal for these kind of cars, because you always have like your $1,000 oil change or whatever it is. Or you might need to do something with your brakes or your tires or some other little thing. So I have a feeling it's always going to cost about $5,000, if not a little bit more. I was a little bummed about the wheel bearing thing, but I'm actually pretty darn happy that it wasn't the F1 system. How long does it take to do repairs and maintenance on these cars? Well, it takes quite a bit longer than your average vehicle. Sometimes the parts have to come in from a different country. Sometimes the shop is backed up and it'll be a little bit until they see you. But if the car broke down, you want it at the shop. So once the part is there, they could quickly get to it and do the repair. 3 days to a week or so for an oil change. For the wheel bearing assembly and all that stuff, that was about 2.5 weeks or so. For the speakers, me and my friend Brian just put those in ourselves, so that was pretty easy. Everyone has told me that, you know, once you get this fully sorted, it's a really reliable dream car to own. And I can attest that that is true. I just got a bunch of lemons when I first got the car, but hey, that's in the past. We're only having fun with this car in the future. I can't wait to take you guys along with me and show you like what the heck owning a cool vintage 25-year-old Ferrari is like. All in, from all the repairs, maintenance, and everything. Purchase price of the vehicle, I'm slightly under $130,000. You be the judge if that's worth it to you or not. I don't know. It's a really fun car, and would I do it again? No. I would buy a new Ferrari. I would buy one with a warranty. So that's my advice to y'all. If you could afford a new Ferrari, buy that one. If you could afford or mentally prepare yourself for some headaches and some challenges, you could buy a used one. Some are more reliable than others. Just depends on how they've been driven and stored. It's a pretty short video this time, guys. I just wanted to go over the maintenance stuff. Thanks for watching, liking, and subscribing. I'll talk to you later.